right, CGI. CGI alone without AI. Just with CGI alone, okay? I think it's really awesome. But you ever wonder too, like, well, if responsibly used, it's really cool for all kind of stuff, everything from your video games to your movies, but can it be used to maybe fuck with people? If you could isolate them somewhere, way out in the woods and isolate them from TV and radio and media here or some crap. I mean, what do you think? You think it's pretty creepy that if people had the opportunity and if they had a way to isolate maybe a certain group of people somewhere, in theory, could CGI be misused and abused? I mean, to fuck with people's heads and shit like that. What do you think? Alright, what's up, guys? Time for another video. And I'm going to tell you about how some people out there confuse AI with CGI. They're not really the same thing, but they work hand in hand. And people are calling a lot of things that I'm going to talk about that are really, really cool, that I actually like a lot. They're saying, oh, AI. I said, no, I'm saying, they're calling it AI, but I said, no, it's CGI. And when you call it AI, people call it that, they're leading you to assume, you're taking somebody's word for it, that these really intricate pictures and animation that you're telling some AI to generate for you, you're taking their word for it. And CGI was around forever. Hey, before YouTube came along, Hollywood had it. You know what I mean? But yet CGI and AI can work hand in hand. And but anyway, this, whether it's generated and made by, whether it's CGI made and generated by AI or CGI created by a human who knows how to use CGI. And well, this dovetails into, say, if you're like me, watch some video game Let's Plays, some really wonderful video games, a video game or two I own. Some videos now, like, shit, all we had is a Atari 2600 when I was a kid. Now our childhood dreams are coming true. You got some realistic looking games out there, but now you got these, what they're calling AI generated images. I'm gonna talk about one YouTuber I've seen. That shit's good. People are calling it AI. I don't know if it's AI generated shit that intricate or not, but it's gonna get there. But they're not giving that to a lot of other people, I don't think. But somehow, I mean, anyway, some people are really good at CGI, whatever the hell. I like to know whatever the hell they're using. But one YouTuber, I think, called Vlad the Trender. And I'm going to say something there that sounds silly here. You got to have like a warped sense of humor and then things that make you wonder. You're saying it like you're joking, like a warped sense of humor, but all right, you'd have to look up the YouTuber Vlad the Trender. And then I would have to talk about slightly other subjects. You know how, for one thing, keeping your head on one side here to not jump subjects too much. You know, you had this shit going on in Hollywood that looks real, all kind of creatures that fly and everything else, right? And we look on YouTube videos, some people, aliens, Bigfoot and everything. Well, this YouTuber Vlad the Trender, they're showing, like, you know how before you had computers, okay? Try not to jump subjects here. Look at old movies, old black and white movies, and people with old attire, like maybe Old West or something, right? So anyway, this Vlad the Trender, this YouTuber, you see people in these real old, like maybe Wild West, gold miners, prospectors, or this real old attire, and it's, instead of being in color, in black and white, right? And they're standing next to giant apes and all kind of giant animals and all these other crazy creatures and all that. And somebody made that as really good, and they made it in black and white footage, okay? And try to get your head around something I'm saying here too, okay? You got old movies. I was talking about old movies, right? I'm almost laughing when I'm saying this too, but I'm laughing at the same time how crazy ironic it is, and some of us have a warped sense of humor. Okay, you got old black and white movies, but keep in your head too. You ever watched a History Channel or even some historic stuff on YouTube where you got some real footage that came from the days of black and white TV that actually is real, and compared to modern HD TV, right? We're differentiating here in this current reality we're in. You got old movies in black and white before there was color. You can still watch them, and you got historic footage you can get off of YouTube, History Channel. I mean, you pick it. People were talking about a particular thing like on the History Channel. It's part color, part black and white, because there's old film footage from the clothes people were wearing. Okay, if you got this far in this video, you get what I'm saying. Where TV and reality meet already, right? And now you got this C.G.I, and not only is it in color, right? They can do it in black and white. Okay, what I'm getting at here. All right, it sounds far-fetched, but yet like a comedian. I'm trying to talk like a comedian, not funny, because I'm almost busting out laughing. I don't blame you if you bust out laughing, think it is. But okay, you'd have to get somebody really isolated to be able to pull this off. Okay, what I'm getting at, say maybe you had a bunch of kids you raised in some compound way out in the woods or something, but instead of denying them TV and radio, put maybe modern looking brand like flat screen TVs, say in the middle, way out in the uncharted forest somewhere. You want to have in your head like maybe the cult leader like in Jonesville or something similar to that, but pretend, okay, I'm just giving you an idea to pull this off so you don't laugh at me and I'm laughing at myself, right? That what I'm trying to get at here, how you get TV that meets reality, and you got the C.G.I, right? And I even watch things like Woodward TV where, well, some of us, if it actually ever made the news and on our news, which you never see. Oh, well, aliens will finally make contact with us and it's on the news. We'd all laugh at, they'll say, oh, that's just C.G.I. But anyway, what I'm getting at, like, all right, what if you wanted to isolate a whole bunch of kids, right? And say you expose them to some real black and white footage, just historic. And then, of course, you got old movies, Old West, right? But then you got the CGI now that they can make black and white. And you got these things like you're seeing on YouTube now, right? With people in old attire, like maybe Old West attire, 1700s, 1800s attire, or they're dressed like gold prospectors or whatever. And you see them, you see this black and white footage, and they're standing next to some giant, run into my stuff, my tools over here. Anyway, you see this footage, right? Guy in that old attire in black and white, and he's standing next to some giant ape that's just much bigger than him, or these giant animals, right? All right, I'm getting to it. Excuse me, I'm trying not to laugh. I mean, and then some of us, like says, want to say Bigfoot is real, and throw in the parenthesis too, things you watched in YouTube that they allege probably happened. An old Native American story that the Bigfoot war. There was like one of the leaders of one of these tribes, if you will. I'm saying this from memory. He was part French and part Indian. He had one parent was French and one parent was Indian. They all got these guns. Like, okay, they had cattle being missing, eventually people being missing. Okay, and they find, and this is a story they claim it might be true. You find it on YouTube. You hear what I'm getting at with this, right? So we want to believe maybe you had these stories about the Bigfoot war, that there was some Native Americans that really had buffalo rifles and sabers, and they were going out to find these Bigfoot that were supposedly allegedly stealing and eating cattle and stealing and eating people, okay? So you take everything I said there, and then you take, what if, I'm not saying anybody would do it, I'm saying in a theoretical environment, that you would have to be some cult leader like Jonesville and isolate a bunch of kids, tell them about history and make rewrite history, right? It would, like, I'd have to say in a theoretical sense, like, say, Jim Jones of Jonesville, say somebody like that in his day and age had something like that way out in the woods, right? But instead of denying people radio and TV, put modern TVs and radios there, but of course didn't have it connected to our stuff that we see every day. And convince kids, say, okay, black and white footage. Back in the day, man, men standing next to these creatures, these giant monkeys, these I'm partially comedic, part sarcastic, part comedic, and at the same time, you sit there laying awake at night and laughing about this because you see whether you want to hear these stories, you hear these conspiracy theories or not, and all that. What do you want to call them? Conspiracy theories. But like I said, people around here in theory wouldn't fall for it. Like, say, if it came on our actual TV that aliens landed, people tried to say, well, maybe they'll try to do that, but people say, oh, it's CGI. I totally agree. But I'm saying humoristic way, I'm saying in a humorous kind of way, entertaining the idea of what you would have to do to convince people of this. But because of that footage that you have now, that you can put it in black and white, or if you got this far in this video, I'm not telling anybody to go do this, okay? What if you had kids, locked them in your house and never sent them to school and never had them go outside, and you fuck kids' brains up by saying, yeah, this... But alright, when I was a child at the same time, seeing on TV, I knew this was just TV when I saw all the monster movies. And your parents tell you all monsters are not really real. But then when you're older, you have these stories, well, there might have been real monsters, and there might be real monsters out in the uncharted wilderness or these rainforests even now, or whatever the hell, too. And then we get older, we see these zombie movies, the older ones compared, Night of the Living Dead, but compared to Resident Evil and all your new, more realistic looking CGI help with CGI zombie movies of now, you know what I mean? And you're told as a kid, I'm saying that you wanted to fuck with your kids and say shit's real, but at the same time you were a kid, you were taught that something ain't real, right? And then you get older, oh, maybe some shit is real. What us adults are watching today, right? And then now as adults we're hearing that where people are possibly genetically mutating something. Well, this is footage. This is something for another video, but I'm getting into, what do you call it? Altered reality in a sense, or whatever, too. Yeah, anyway, I can go on. Maybe I ought to stop right here, but